Hey, everybody, we got a great show for you. We're going to be bringing you some amazing guests, and we're going to be talking about the awards. So hang out. But until then, this is Sunday COMiX Brunch. Welcome to the Sunday COMiX Brunch, where we dine on comics and comics headlines, hosted by Mr. Anderson and Meredith Logren. Join them and their guests as they go over the comics headlines from this week and their projects, brought to you by the Comics News Wire and Geek Insider. Warning and disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this live feed are those of the guests, speakers, and or hosts, and do not necessarily reflect the beliefs, official policies, ethics, or positions of the content providers, advertisers, additional hosts, and or guests, hosting sites, groups, or entities attached to this programming. Viewer discretion is advised. All right, everyone, we're live. Let's go around the room and introduce ourselves. Meredith will go first, the co-host. Go for it. You're muted.
Hey, good morning. I'm Meredith Logren. I am the associate editor over at Geek Insider, as well as the executive producer of the Geek Insider podcast. I wear a lot of hats. Currently working on a Kickstarter over on Kickstarter. Hey, enter the continuum. And again, wearing a lot of hats. You can find me at linktree.com/MEREJ99 to see what I'm up to. And I'm going to pass the mic to C.
Hey, I'm C. Michael Lanning, independent artist. I've done work for Silverline and, of course, Reapers on that said Kickstarter. Enter the compendium. Go check it out. Also, I'm a co-anchor for Weekended. And among other things, I can't remember. I do not have a link tree, but you can always find me at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Linktree. All right, George, you're up, my man. Tell them who you are.
Hey, my name is George. I am a cartoonist. I'm the creator of the webcomic Beware Toddler. I've done a few other things as well, but you can find me at GeoGet Art on all the socials or at Beware Toddler as well.
And finally, my new friend, Dustin. Tell him who you are.
How's it going, guys? My name is Dustin Brunell. I am the creator and writer for the Listener comic book series, as well as the comic book series that's about to start up called Greed. You can find me most places on social media, but it's easiest on Facebook because I treat it like it's one of my kids and I'm always on it.
All right. Well, welcome everybody to the show. So, first things first, let's talk about the awards. The awards is tonight at 6 p.m. You guys are all welcome to join us on YouTube, Facebook, and I think we were also broadcasting on our group as well, the awards group. If you don't know where that is, you can just go to Independent Creator Awards on Facebook. Voting's still going because I'm stupid and I allow voting to go to the very last minute. But I want to bring up something right away. We got George in the room. George is up for an award.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
And he just won one, man. He just won it for Webcomic of the Year.
Sweet.
Bravo. Tell him about that series. I want to bring it up right now. We're going to go look at how many we have. So talk to us about this series you got going on.
All right, so the series is called Beware Toddler. It's a comic strip, like a newspaper comic strip style webcomic. And it's loosely based on my own life. It's about a stay-at-home dad and his crazy 2-year-old. So it's a parenting comic, and the 2-year-old just gets into crazy things. It's like Tom and Jerry, in my opinion, like a modern take on Tom and Jerry, but with the parent and child instead of cat and mouse.
So who wins?
The toddler almost always wins.
Toddler always wins.
For sure.
Always.
Look at this art. Like blown away by the art. And you do it all, right? The inks, the coloring, the lettering. This is all you.
Everything. The logo, the website. I did all of it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's a fantastic strip, man. I love that strip.
I don't know how we connected, but I was so thrilled when we did. I saw this and I saw my son and all the things he's done to me. I was like, yeah, how isn't this a thing already? Are you planning to do a comic book, like a straight out, maybe a collection of all the webtoons and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm actually working on it right now. I wanted to have finished it by last year, but I got caught up in a lot of freelance projects, things like that. Because I have two other comics as well on top of my freelancing work, and I'm going to pick it back up soon. I just need to lay out the rest of the comics, and I'm good to go.
Very cool. What? Anyone else have any other questions about this while I draw up the award? And we'll see.
I mean, how long have you been doing this, man? It's beautiful. I mean, it's super cool.
Thank you. This year will mark 15 years since I uploaded my first webcomic.
That's stunning, man. Congratulations. That's definitely a milestone to hit, man. 15 years.
Thank you. Yeah, it doesn't even feel like it. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah, comics are
Does
like.
it feel like forever, or like just a nanosecond passed and boom, it's like 15 years later?
It feels like it's been a few years, but like 15 is. I didn't think that I'd be. I'm not gonna say I didn't think I'd be drawing webcomics like this long, but it's strange. I don't know what I'd be doing, but I don't think I'd be doing a comic like this, and for it to have gained such a following that it did in such a short amount of time.
Now, let me ask, this is based on, I assume, a toddler that it was your child, right?
Yeah, it was based on well, my then 2-year-old. She did something silly one day, and I thought it was funny. Like I've been playing around with the idea of a parenting comic, but I never actually put it into motion. And then one day, my then 2-year-old did something silly, like it was like an impromptu game of hide and seek, and the outcome, basically, it was my turn to hide, and I hid in the closet. I'm thinking, you know what? She's like 2 years old. She's not gonna find me, and she made a beeline to me. I don't know how she found out where I was. And
homing beacon. They've got a homing beacon. They really do.
I swear it's exactly like that. And she found me like immediately. And I thought it was very funny. And so I just drew up a comic strip about it, just because. And a lot of people liked it. So I thought I'd do more, and then I drew another comic strip about it, and people really, really liked it. And from there, light bulb went off. Let's make more of these. Let's see what happens.
For sure.
And here we are, a year and a half later, and here we are.
Well, let me ask you a question. How old's the toddler now?
Well, within the comic strip, I don't want to age her, so she's still 2 years old.
No, I meant
but my daughter right now, she'll be 4 this summer.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very. 4, it was an interesting year for Jax. They warned you about the terrible 2s. The terrible 2s are nothing like 4 because now they've figured out how to really cause problems.
Oh, see, I have boys. They're all grown up young men now, but they, went 3s. The 2s were great. I love the 2s. It was the terrible 3s for me. But I'm looking at this. I'm like, okay, you write it, you do the art, you do the colors. I'm like, you're the triple threat that like writers like me don't like. Okay, because we don't have the talent to do that.
Well, back when I was starting, because I came up on newspaper strips like Calvin and Hobbes and whatnot, and you didn't see many teams of cartoonists, at least that were credited at the time. So I just assumed that newspaper cartoonists just did everything by themselves, So I took that mentality and I do everything on my own now.
Yeah, I love it, and it speaks to that creative process when you really want to put a product out there, you're going to make it happen no matter what.
Absolutely.
Don't make excuses. Just go out there and do it. I love that.
Thank you.
All right, and now we want to look at the award itself. So the award that you're up for would be the most important award, at least to me. I know for some people it might not be, but for me it is. It's all about the kids, because I had said this to some people yesterday when we were talking about something. I want to make comic books that are for a 12-year-old out there that has dyslexia. not just for them, but a 12-year-old that has dyslexia who needs to be able to learn to read, and he can use comics to do it, because that was my story. So I think any comic like this, even if it's for parents or kids, if it's something that parents and kids can enjoy, I think it's awesome. So he's up for the all ages book of the year because I think it's funny. And yeah, it's a web comic. Don't matter. Web comics are books. That's comics, baby. That's how it is.
For sure.
So there you go. Super Cats is in the lead, but George, you can still win. It's so close, George.
Come on. Make it happen.
Like I'm saying, like 9 votes on top, and it's funny because Super Cats just got picked up by Scoop. This is one of those steal moments. We saw that a week ago. Remember, Meredith? The printers from nowhere came. The printer I use, COMiX Impression, and it just took it. So if you guys are watching right now, this is definitely one to look at. We'll actually put it in our. We'll cheat. We'll actually put it in a comment so you guys can go vote on it. Now you've seen it. Now you understand. I saw George's work and I was blown away. I laughed. I was like, this is so amazing. It's beautifully done. The lettering, like you got it. You got it. Like all the, like you have those the boxes to check. You check them all.
Thank you. I try, kind of. No, I try.
You succeed more than try.
If you're not trying and you're pulling that off, golly.
And now Dustin, we have on the show today. We want to talk about Dustin's project as well because.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. I'm stoked to be here. I'm super excited.
I'm getting the forever wheel, but I promise I'm getting the listener. Now, the one thing that we've said about this video is why don't you show art, Dustin?
So all of our stuff is digital, and I've never, and you guys can laugh because it's funny to us, but I've been in comic books for almost 20 years, and I've never done my own. Like I owned a brick and mortar. Now I own half of a web store, and there's all kinds of stuff like that. And I used to do shows and cons and all kinds of craziness, but I'd never done my own book. So I didn't know how to go about showing people my own book. Right. So the listener, this is our second book. When Winds Weep is our second title, or our second actual issue. And our first book, I put it together. We got like 2,600 on Kickstarter. I thought that was a beautiful thing. It was awesome to be to go in first book out. We hit $2,600, and I was ready to go again. So we put out the second book. We funded, and I think it was like a week and a half that we funded, and that was blew my mind again because we were already almost to what we made on our first book. But it all originated when my Uncle Les died, and he was a Native American. He was one of the first Green Berets in Vietnam, and I thought that was a very powerful thing. We used to sit and listen to him tell stories about all the gnarly shit that he'd been through, and he disappeared for like 20 years, okay, and showed up again at my living near my grandmother. And we started visiting him as he was older, and he was like PTSD had taken over his life at that point in time. So we use that a lot. We talk about the stuff he's been through. The listener is loosely based on Les, and I'm sure there are numerous other individuals that went through certain things in their lives. So we use his stories and his tales to create the listener. And the listener became a comic book without a superhero. I didn't want to give you guys a hero. So,
yeah, but the one thing I gotta say here, why don't you show the art here behind you, my man? I'm gonna show you all how beautiful the art for the book is, and you make me feel like a pervert because I spend half the video looking up a girl's skirt, and I don't want to, Dustin.
For sure. For sure. The funny thing about that is, so we just moved to Tennessee like 8 months back, and I ended up like I had closed my brick and mortar, so I had storage units, like full storage units. And when we moved to Tennessee and brought all those units, it was literally like, what are we doing with all this inventory, right? So we put it all upstairs, and we were like, this is going to be an office. And for those of us that are in this industry, we all know that there's so many books, there's so much inventory that it's literally like trying to move around and make an office space. So that was literally thrown up to hide long boxes behind me, just because everybody was like, you got to do a video. I didn't know that, you know what I mean? This was only my second Kickstarter. I had no clue what I was doing. So I was like, okay, well, I'll get on here and talk. We'll talk a little bit about the book. We'll get excited about it. And, we'll move on from there. But I have a bunch of buddies in this industry that have pushed me to better myself and to push this product out. So I'm doing the best I can as I learn.
And that's exactly it. We all learn together. But the one thing I have to, Dustin, I have to bring it up. I'm upset about it. I translated your shirt. You're cursing at me with your shirt. Is that true?
So that's the shirt. I don't know if you can see it at all later in the video.
No, you really can't.
Okay, so it's from Rugrats. It's Reptar. Yeah, it's Reptar from Rugrats is what the shirt actually is. And you can see at the bottom.
That is awesome.
You can actually see his fin at the very bottom under the third letter.
I see it now.
It's and the funny thing is my computer and stuff and all my rig is downstairs. So I've got my daughter's laptop and it's sitting on like bags and boards trying to make it high enough to actually do a video with it.
We've all been there.
for sure.
No crates, yeah.
Right. So I was desperately trying to do, the what everybody was saying was the way to go and get it all situated. But to me, I put this beautiful team together, like amazing, incredible group of people. And it was like, I never wanted to, I'm not a car salesman, right? So when we had a brick and mortar, I would always show people what I liked them to see, and when it came to doing a video, it was so awkward for me. And anybody that knows me personally will attest to it. There are 47 takes of this video. That literally only lasts like 30 seconds a piece. And I had a lot of fun with that. I'll eventually put it all out in one not safe for work, very mature video of me getting angry at this video so many times. But the art, I feel like is beautiful. And I should have put some of it in there. For our next Kickstarter, it will definitely be in there. Especially the posters and stuff like that David Acampo did for us. They'll be in there. But like you said, we live and we learn, man.
Yeah, and on backer post, no one wants to sit through this because this is more of a Facebook Live than it is a pitch video. I always say this: this is supposed to be your elevator pitch, 60 seconds or less.
Yep.
When you make your next video, if you need any help, you can come to me.
I appreciate that.
Meredith, we will get together because she does this jazzy hands things to videos. We'll see it in a little bit.
That's fantastic.
Every time we've played your video, because people will pause it because they're like, he's just talking, I'm not seeing art. And that's everyone's complaint.
For sure.
You're one of the campaigns that I'm like, no, we're not just going to stop it now. You have to see the art. This art is mind-blowingly beautiful.
I appreciate that very much.
Look at it. That's amazing.
So that is Marissa Pope and Gwen's Midnight variant that we released for the when we hit goal. That was the one that we were holding back so people could see it. I'm only printing 30 of those, period. I think we've got like 18 left. But Marissa was introduced to me by Mike DeBalfo, who's a good friend of mine, and that's his apprentice. And I had brought Mike on to do book one with me because I was like, well, if I'm going to do my book and I've got a bunch of good buddies, I'm going to bring them on to do it, And he was like, hey, can you bring Marissa on? So she did a beautiful cover for book one. And then she did this amazing cover with Gwen. And I was blown away. I was absolutely blown away. This is our character, Lon. She doesn't get a lot of story time. She's only in about 6 issues because she has her own fate befall her. But her sister is also on a store variant. We were so blessed. We had people pick up store variants for the book. And you guys will see those eventually too. But a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun interior art with Eric Viola. I love his style. He and I have had an amazing time working together. Then you got Gabby's covers and Adam's covers. They came out beautifully, And that's Marissa's cover for book one next to trade dress for book 2. So.
And I got to say, so much passion when you hear when you're talking, and because I've watched your whole video.
I appreciate it, man.
I say it all the time. I'm like, he's just being passionate. The problem is that you don't have the jazzy hands moments of the
for sure. I definitely need to learn the jazzy hands.
But when people saw your art on Backer Paws, everyone was like, "Oh my God, that is stunningly beautiful." This would be one of the rare times you would only need a narration. Just the art in itself should be getting people to back it. That's why I've tweeted it, and we're, like I said, all the things we're doing today are going to get tweeted out.
I'm pretty surprised that you didn't like throw me under the bus, Rob. You know, like, get him off the camera. I've done that, Dustin. Nothing personal.
Oh, fine.
You just threw yourself under the bus.
I know, it's okay. It's okay. I'm totally transparent with that.
I think that it's one of those things where we've put together a team that speaks highly of itself. You know, the people that are involved. And, you know, like that's Kyle's cover for book 1. One beautiful thing about that cover and a lot of things that we make sure people know about is Gary Lightfoot is the main actor that played in Indian in the Cupboard. He got a copy of our book and approved his likeness to be put on the cover. So that was really exciting. And that's actually painted on a newspaper that was printed the day after World War II. So that was a lot of fun. We've pushed and we've, you know, for a group of dudes that are just getting into putting out books and stuff. I'm very proud of everybody that we've worked with.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that? You know, painting on the newspaper, because I love that that cross media.
Absolutely. You know, Kyle did a killer job with that. That is one of the coolest pieces that I've seen on a comic book, and I can't tell you how long. He actually, I don't know if you guys know Javon Jordan. He puts out the Salve. He actually bought that original art. It's a full-size painting. You know what I mean? It's beautiful. He picked up that original art not long ago. But the beadwork that he did in that particular image is absolutely phenomenal. You can actually see the headline of the newspaper in the headdress. It's such a cool concept, you know, that he did like that. So he also Kyle did a store variant for us for Win Win's Weep. And it's painted on, he couldn't get the original for this, but he got really HD copies of a peace treaty that was signed. And he painted on a beautiful peace treaty. Had a lot of fun with that one too. But yeah, we try to do things differently because there are so many amazing talents out there, right? So when we came into it, I came into the realization I'd been selling comics so long that I'd seen so many different things that I was like, it's got to be different. You know, if we're going to be a small fish going into this wonderful sea of talent, we have to have colors or shine in our own way to interest people in what we're doing. I love it. And so far, all our books are coming back 9/8, which is also beautiful. So really excited to see people's feedback on it. You know, one of the other things that we're doing that's important to me is we're doing we're giving some of the proceeds to a wolf sanctuary. So I'm really happy about that as well. But yeah, the art's beautiful. The story is, I mean, it's everything to me, you know.
Stunning. And I love that with the wolf sanctuary too.
Absolutely. You know, we're definitely giving back. So I'm excited that we can do that, you know, and the whole team is behind it. So that was important too. You know, like I tell people, you know, we have so many stories to tell, but if people quit telling them, they're forgotten. And I really don't want that particular animal to ever be forgotten when it's so tied to our legacy and our heritage. It would just really suck. So we're going to do everything we can as a team to keep that from happening.
And man, beautifully done. Definitely something. I expect that to be up for an award next year, to be honest with you.
I appreciate that very much. We're also, like I said, we're on book 2. We're putting out book 3's almost just going into getting the art done now. The panels are already finished. So book 3 will be done right before the Kickstarter starts for that. All our books are finished beforehand, and I think that's important that people understand. You don't have to worry about, may or may not get it. It's already done. You guys showed a painting not long ago as you were scrolling down, a couple paintings from Gabby's work. Gabriela Ramos is doing a book that we're calling Guy's Journal right now. And Guy's Journal is actually a 60-page book that you can only get with Kickstarter. It's an add-on. You can get it singularly if you wanted to, but it's got full paintings by her on the left and storylines. There's some of her stuff, yeah. Then storylines by me on the right. So you'll have, and it's not, spoiler storylines. It's actually stuff written from the viewpoint of one of our main characters. So you guys will get, some insight to some of these individuals in a different way. And those are all our covers. If you scroll down, like for both books, you can see them all in that little bundle. So we've added that so that people can get caught up. Anything you guys pick up with your physical copy, we give our digital copies to all physical buyers. So there's that too. But it's just been mad fun, right? Because I didn't want to put out a superhero comic. I wanted to put out a realistic take on something. And then it became, so when my Uncle Les died, it literally turned into a eulogy, right? I wrote a eulogy. I put the eulogy out. And then Mike DeBalfer reached out to me. 10, 15 people reached out and were like, man, you need to do something more with that than just a eulogy. And it turned into 30 scripts in a month. And they're all edited. They're all complete. So there's no shortage of content with the listener. We also decided that we would write a secondary series. I'm 8 scripts into that one. We're actually about to put out the first issue of that one too in the next few months. So you guys will, the listener world is so big, because theology and stories are so large. They're not singular, like everybody's like, well, I know about, Christianity and I know about Buddhism and this and that, but there's so many other theologies in this world that I wanted people to see them, the stories from them. I'm not saying I'm throwing something in your face because I want you to believe it. I'm showing you because some of these stories are badass and they're terrifying, right? That was when I first started putting out the listener, I had this idea for this character that like dealt with the original couple seasons of like Supernatural, mixed with the Frighteners. And that was really cool to me. And, but it turned into something so much bigger in such a small period of time that it was literally like, now we're writing a novel. We're putting out a tabletop RPG. We've got funding for other projects that we're working on, and, I was told by 3 or 4 people because I was looking to get published eventually. That was my goal. I was like, man, somebody will pick this up. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll get published. And I had people go, don't publish the IP like that. And I was like, what do you mean? And they were like, just hold out. Just keep doing the work. Show people the work. Do your own thing because eventually something's going to pop with this. And we were on a 6-month plan we had put out to get a second book out. And then all of a sudden it was like, are you ready? Book 2's coming, and it was like, oh, okay, sweet. So you guys will get the listener, then you'll get Greed, then you'll get the listener, then you'll get Greed. And it's the cool thing is when I first started this, it was like $6,000 to put out issue 1, right? It was terrifying. And we put out issue 1 because I didn't want to give you guys generic work, right? I wanted to give you beautiful art. I wanted to give you beautiful covers. And I'm not going to shortchange my friends in this business that have been doing it for so long, So the book itself, production value is huge. We're thankful to Artist Express because they print all our books, and Antonio and Anastasia, they're great people. So they put all our books out. And it's just been a wild ride how it's come from this one thing to another, and how we've got this like character that so many people vibed with, with what he's doing and how violent, like, so when you get into it and you read, and I'll send you guys all PDFs copies of the book. I'll put a link when we're done so you guys can see it. But there was originally, it was like when you opened it, it was like I only wanted you to get Les's story, right? That's what I wanted. I wanted to give you guys these amazing tales. And then it turned into this beautifully terrifying story. Like the characters started taking a life of their own and how far we were going with them. And then it was, what if Addie is in a part of a bigger picture? What if the listener is such a big thing that we don't even realize it? and all of a sudden it was adding, Celtic gods and, Roman gods and Greek gods and how these people exist. And one of the coolest parts that we've seen that people have vibed with when we talk is that Addie, there's two realms. We have the living and we have the spiritual realm. So like if we were standing in, let's say we were in Vegas, okay, and we slipped into the other realm, you'd be standing in Helheim. And if you traveled to Jersey, you'd be able to see Valhalla in Jersey, and if you walked across the Bifrost, you'd be in Italy and in front of the gates of heaven, and there are all just these cool ideas that we were coming up with. I mean, spiritual prisons and what's really going on in the bigger picture in the listener, because one thing that I have always hated about comic books, in a personal opinion, is there's so much going on in these worlds, and we only see this little teeny bit of what's happening. We get our main character, that's all we get, so we've created this world where all our characters are main characters, so you could go from seeing like Sonny's a big deal. He's a member of the group. He's that guy that everybody loves to hate right now, and he's everybody's favorite character because when we started doing covers, he stuck out to all our artists, and they were like, look, this is who we want to do. And so we had a cover with who ends up being an antagonist through the series, but in the beginning starts out as just a member of our protagonist group. And it was like, wow, holy cow. And people wanted to know more, what about this character? What can we do with him? So we've got all these stories that we're hashing out and showing through PTSD, memories and how people are dealing with them. And the best way for people that are watching to understand PTSD that haven't dealt with it would be like, music. Music takes you to a place in, your life that you can remember. And with us, PTSD takes you full in, though. It's almost like a VR experience for people that have PTSD. You're there. It's not just sounds or anything. It's taste, it's touch, it's the whole nine. And that was so important for us because we use it to educate people in it. And we also use it to give you backstory about these characters, what they've dealt with, what they've seen, especially Addie, because it's a big deal. The first book, we also go into alcoholism and how we show it in a way that you can understand what it did to Native American society, how it, affected people. And we also talk a little bit about how it affects, that time period. World War II was a terrible time, and alcoholism was not, just during certain points or another. We use it to show that Addie's father ignored the spirits when he became the listener. He used alcohol to numb that, so almost deafen the ability to see them. So Addie has memories of like his father being upset and angry and talking to people that aren't there, but we as the viewer or reader, we know what he's going through. We know what he's seeing. But in the beginning, we only give you words, we give you thought bubbles and speech bubbles and text bubbles and stuff. But as we get to the end of it, I'm very proud of the very last page of the first book. It set up our pride and set up the group to be ready for the next book. And it's funny because the last page wasn't even in the book until a week before it was printed. And right, because people were like, so we're sitting as a team and we're like, we got to give it everything we got, right? The book's got to give everything we've got. This first outing, it's the only first outing you get, so you have to give it what you got. And we were sitting around and I was telling Eric, I was like, I got this really cool idea for the last page. And he was like, it's not going to work. It doesn't. And I was like, I'm telling you, bro, it's going to work. And that's everybody's favorite page so far. So with the second book, I culminate the entire second book with that last page of it, and it blew everybody's mind on the team. So it's like we're all trying to push the next product, you know what I mean? Because the interest, if it's boring, nobody wants to read it. Whereas you get to the end of it and you're like, holy shit, what just happened? It's like, we got to get it, what's going to happen next? I got to wait a month and a half to get the next book. Yeah. And that's the vibe that we've pushed and we've wanted to give people, because the story is just as interesting to us as it is to you guys reading it. Like I cried during the second book, right? Like I wrote it, it tore me up when I wrote it. And then to see the imagery get put on paper, it tore me up again, because it was such an experience. And, comic book characters, for the creators understand this, it's like they're your children, right? So when things start happening and you consciously have the idea that you're going to remove some of these children from your life, it becomes like a, oh my gosh moment, but it's so powerful. A couple things about the listener that we stick to and we're very proud of are it's not finite. You know, death and time are not finite with the listener because the listener doesn't age. So when you become the listener, you are the listener till the day you die. And then your firstborn offspring will become the next listener. And being able to interact with the dead means that, you know, if you lose a character, you're sure to see him again. And I think that's very exciting, you know, to people. I mean, aside from the really exciting stuff, like what happens if Hades throws down Lucifer, right? You know, there are these really cool concepts that we have because, you know, you get the 4 horsemen involved, you've got the 7 deadly sins involved, and the listener is a demigod, and we haven't got into all that yet, but he's to keep neutrality within the spiritual realm of Native Americans, you know, all the different tribes and all the different beliefs. You know, he's a shepherd for them. And an interesting thing that we do involving, like, each spirit's got to have power, right? One of them's got to be stronger than the other one, so on and so forth, just like anything else.
Hey, Dustin.
Yeah, please.
I got to jump in for a second.
Absolutely.
Mike was asking you about, he wanted a list of the different awards up. So we have put the list up. We put that list in there for you, Mike. That's all ready to go for you. I'm sorry, because he also messaged me, so I was working out in the background. So the awards are up there. I'm sorry, Dustin. What were you saying?
So when God's with us, right? And for those of us that are older, that we have studied a little bit or have a little beliefs, or you know, we pay attention to theology a little bit. Names were powerful back in the day. You know, that's you were given a name, and it held power over your being as a soul in some religions almost. And with the listener, we go into that heavily, like Christ being way up there, right? And Odin being way up there, and you know, Buddha being way up there. Like we joke about the fact you'll never see Buddha because he'll show up one blue moon and it'll be a major event. And then you won't see him again because he's like that monk, right? That wants to do his own thing and wants to be peaceful and stuff like that. Whereas the listener has all kinds of death chasing him. You know, it's literally like, as we go forward, he's blamed for breaking neutrality when he's only supposed to deal with so many gods, but he's trying to stop other things from occurring. So the 7 deadly sins are causing all these issues, but everybody's blaming the listener because they don't think he stayed within his rightful place. With the 4 horsemen, they're trying to kill the listener. So every time he goes over into the spiritual realm, it almost like tings the 4 horsemen. So we go a lot into that and stuff later on. But like I said, we're 30-something scripts in right now. So with a tabletop RPG that has stories that are tied to it, campaigns tied to it, if you play the story, play the game canonically, it puts you in with current events in the book. Like, it's not like you have to play the game, but if you do, you'll get to see stories and backstories that you may not have had you not. You know, so I'm really excited, man. I'm overly hyped about everything we've got going on, especially Greed. I mean, that's so awesome. I love the concept of Bill Air Toddler.
Yeah, and you got a vote here from our good friend Mike, who's the one who asked us to put that thing together for everybody.
Sweet.
That's pretty cool. We do have to get onto some of the other awards, but that's really in depth. I thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah,
today.
man, absolutely. And I don't mean to get on a harangue, man, but I'm like so passionate and excited about it that it's just it flows, bro.
It's good to see creators passionate. We always like to see creators passionate. That adds a level to what you're getting when you and you kick when you back a project when the creator's passionate.
I'm gonna learn about spirit fingers, though. I'm gonna hold you to it.
It's jazz hands for her. Spirit fingers.
Gotcha.
Well, see, you should tell him about Reapers. I think he'd dig Reapers.
For sure. I'm always interested.
Oh, you want me to tell now?
Yeah. No, wait till later. When no one's watching.
No, it's Reapers is kind of a concept to where you can spirits considered residual energy, so you reap that residual energy and you sell it like on the black market.
That's
like
cool.
Yeah. So it's something Meredith and I work on. Of course, it's a short story in the Enter the Continuum on our Kickstarter. And we're passionate about it too.
I love that, man. So it's a powerful thing to be able to talk to people that are excited about their projects.
Yeah. Well, the whole dynamic about it is that, through the story, it's like we assume that residual energy is, like pure energy. But there are going to be some factions who are like, no, those are the spirits of your dead, and and that whole dynamic and the conflict that can come from it, and among other things, because it's kind of like I guess in a way, I don't want to give too much away, but it's you get that whole rockabilly feeling, obviously, from the cover.
Yeah.
But then you have kind of like their scavengers in a way where it's
But it's them against a whole bunch of other people too, and
and there's technology and stuff like that. So there's like so much that is coming into this. And when C and I were talking about it, he was like, I like this, and this. He's like, and I want it all in one story. And I'm like, well, it could be a hot mess, or it could be really super cool.
For sure, I love the art, the image you guys just showed. It had like the cartoon Ghostbusters feel to it. Like the comic cartoon Ghostbusters feel to it. That was really neat. I definitely dig it.
That was Jeremy Kahn who colored that, who's also colored the 6 pages for us in the Continuum. So he did a real good job with that. So
you guys should play a video.
Hmm?
Play a video, Meredith.
Oh.
For Reapers.
You want to play my jazzy hands?
No, the Reapers one. We'll play jazzy hands later.
Ooh.
When spirits can be harvested and sold for energy, the Ragtops must navigate psychic vampires, alien reverends, and other money-hungry groups to reap that sweet, sweet spiritual gold.
That's awesome.
No problem, Mike. Yeah. So, and we never got to finish talking about who else was running, and that was rude of me, because I get so excited like a little kid when we're talking about comic books. I forget myself. But I have overlays all made up, so we're going to switch our room to the appropriate awards show room, and that's coming up in a little bit. Actually, this is going to be one of the awards. I guess we'll talk about it right now. That's the final award for the evening, guys.
Awesome.
That's going to be, yes, Brian Polito is going to be joining us as a not contestant, but someone who's up for an award. He's done a lot. Amazing guy who's always so passionate about comics, reinvented. Who can name the character he created?
Lady Death, Evil Ernie. I mean, are we going there? I'm down.
Evil Ernie's cool.
Oh man, absolutely.
Evil Ernie's definitely cool, but yeah, he'll be in the he'll be part of the festivities, and Meredith, there's that Hall of Fame that we have to fill this year. I wonder who could be possibly being entered in.
No spoilers, but make sure that you guys head over to the Independent Creator Awards. You can do a search in Facebook for it. You have to be a part of the group in order to vote. So make sure you get in there. And Rob is insane because he will take voting up until we go live for the most part.
Yeah.
Rob, why do you do that?
Because I'm stupid.
He just wants to make sure everybody gets in there, gets their votes in, and everything. So,
because let me tell you, those last minute upsets can happen.
Oh,
they've already happened. They've happened now 4 or 5 times. I'm telling you, got to hustle, because in our current one that we have going on, that's a close call here. A lot of these are close calls, to be honest with you. Not even lying, but the kids one that we were talking about earlier, where George is part of, that can be
all ages books. Yep.
Yep, and right now here are our 3 top: the Super Cats Halloween, Zoe and
Snuffy and Zoe,
and Seed Seekers. But it's anyone's game. Here, we'll go over and look at this. It's too close to call right now. This is also why, Meredith, I let the voting go to the very end, because we're doing this pre-show. People, this is fan awards this year. We let the fans make the choices. I'm never giving you the control again, fans. You'll get only part of the control. You've driven me crazy, but I love it. I love the interaction. We're getting points where one award has had over thousands of votes. I think
That's
it's
incredible.
thousands of votes. So it's amazing. This one, it's anyone's game right now. Seat Seekers has 7. It's a tie right now. Literally a tie. We have never had a tie situation yet. I don't know what we'll do if there's a tie going into the awards. So help me break the tie. Go out and I'll be honest, man. I know I'm not supposed to be biased. They're all great, but my favorite is the George Grants Award winning. Beware of Toddlers. That just speaks to me. I love Seat Seekers. Snuffy and Zoe Jackson's a big fan of. I didn't really get down with the Super Cats Halloween. I'm not a big cat fan, and I know some people are just going to giggle about that, but they'll also joke at the same time.
Now, Rob, I have to ask you because the awards, you've got a lot of categories this evening, and we've been trying to frame this into a 1-hour show.
We're not doing that. We're not making that today.
I didn't think so because you've got a lot here.
We got a lot. Today was one of the. Well, we're also getting into the end of the awards, and these are a lot more competitive. The first week we did this, we knew who was winning. There was not one, but that show. If you go back and watch the Sunday COMiX Brunch, you go to the nighttime. The same people won. There wasn't one shift. The second week, which Varian did last week, there was 3 upsets. 3 that came down to the wire, and that was crazy. That was crazy. Like we definitely saw some movement. This one you guys are going to see as we go over today. I can't make award plaques right now. It is insane. It is just too close to call. And over 70% of these. Anyone can win today if you're watching and you're motivated enough. Message your friends. That's it. Yo, do me a favor. Do me a solid. 10 friends, 5 of them will come through. Anyone could win. It's that close in some of these awards. Mm-hmm. And like even with the Writer of the Year, it's not over yet. Edward Davis, who is up on that with so you got Edward Davis who does the Immortal. He's on the right corner there. You got Polito and you got Garrett Gunn. This is not a done deal right now. We are only 12 votes away. And when you're dealing with that many votes, anyone can win. There's no, again, even this one with these many votes, this is hundreds of votes being cast. 8 more people in the category, remember. So many amazing people. Travis Gibb is there, Lorenzo Starr. You have Daniel D. Calvo, Madeline Holly Rosing, which I have to admit is criminal that she's only gotten 8 votes. I think that is absolutely criminal. She's an amazing creator. I'm a fan of what she does. Victor Dandridge, only 25 votes. You are all doing drugs. This is what happens when pot gets legal. You're so stoned you're not voting for the right people, fans. I'm just saying.
Oh, wow.
I'm just saying.
No influencing the votes, Rob. Unless it's for Rookie of the Year.
This is Sunday COMiX Brunch. I get to say my feelings. This is where my feelings get expressed. No, everyone here is amazing. Kidding around, saying Tom Hutchinson, Stephanie Menard, Garrett Gunn, Edward Davies, Brian Polito. When I made the awards, this is what I wanted to see. This amazing showing up of so many amazing creators. Writer of the Year, I'll be honest with everyone in this room. I am competitive. If you don't know me personally, you might not know that about me. I always want to be the best in the room if I think I'm good at what I do. I think I'm a better writer than anyone on this list. I know that's saying a lot considering who it is and who's on the list, but I just believe in myself like that. Notice I didn't enter. I didn't have a good last year with what I released. I didn't release enough, in my opinion. I didn't release enough content, and it wasn't because I'm not doing things. There's a lot of stuff coming out this year that I was working on last year, and sometimes we have those off years. I'd never want to have an award this year. I think I'll say maybe I'm tied with Brian and Edward and Garrett. They have some great stuff, and that's not anything against it. Victor Dandridge too. He's a better writer than me. If you read the Trouble with Love, you'd know what I'm talking about. But just to feel like I belong in this category means so much to me. But I wouldn't run for it unless I could do something. Like I needed a year. Like I hope to be running in 21. I hope to see Meredith running in 21 because I see some of the stuff she's coming at with. I can't wait for George to make Toddler. And Dustin, you gotta run. How you?
Yeah, I'm gonna do everything I can, brother. I'm excited.
Like,
well, and that's the thing that I wanted to point out also is that what we're doing this year has been different than what you did last year. we didn't want to judge anybody because 2020 was hard enough on a lot of folks.
Sure.
But, there are a lot of people who are like, they took advantage of the situation. They put their head down. They got to creating and making books. And so this is the framework. What we're doing right now is what we're going to be doing for awards next year. So pay attention. And you know what? Because it's going to be up. This is going to come back. And so whether it's looking for your letter, I mean, we had a couple of categories, Rob, that we had to drop because there wasn't enough participation.
Yeah,
the minimum was 3.
And
3.
We're going to talk about that because that is going to actually come up right now. Good thing that you actually mentioned. It's a perfect segue. We did this cool thing where we did, okay, so look at all these amazing creators, right? It sucks to just give one person an award, right? Well, let me take that away because we're blocking George out of the conversation. So it sucks to just give one award when you have these many good creators. And I was building to this. So I asked people this year, tell us what genre writer you are, because some people are genre writers. I happen to not be. I go across the board, but maybe in a year where you put out a lot of kids content, you want to be up the award for the kids content that you put out, or horror, because that'd be definitely merited. So you can not only enter this as writer of the year to take the main crown, but like in sports, you know how you might not have won the Super Bowl, but you won the NFC title. We're doing that. So we're going to have awards given out if there was a minimum of 3, like Meredith said. So I sat through last night, and I sat down, and at 12:30 in the morning, I looked at all the different categories. As I've entered right now, here's the category count. And some people did not enter what they were supposed to be into. Edward Davis did post-apocalyptic fantasy. Guys, you're making it so no one else is going to be in that category. We're not just going to hand you an award if there was no one else in there. Think more general. Fantasy. You know what I mean? Like when you do that in the future for the years coming, please do that.
Yeah, you're the only one with post-apocalyptic fantasy comic out there this year. You're going to win best for post-apocalyptic fantasy.
Yeah, we're not going to hand it. You have to have had competition to have made it worth it. So post-apocalyptic will not count this year. So either he wins the main title or he doesn't. So you have to be a little strategic with this too, because you want, and maybe next year, because I actually had, if you looked on our group, gave specific categories for people to use, but we might have to build it in even more. And I know next year we won't have as much in this thing here because we won't have as many nights to talk about, and we'll be talking about a different system. So we tried to do the best we could. This year was, of course, based on 2020, so we wanted to be as transparent as we can. And I think once you're doing the 3rd year, people are very used to it. And we'll probably use our info group for all the info and just cut to the chase. Because even Meredith had said something we had done wasn't clear enough, and I was able to go back and clarify it. Because I had looked at it as an like if I tell you guys your display, what do you guys think? In the Independent Creator Awards, I say put up a picture of your display. What would you put up?
You're talking about for like Comic-Cons?
There we go. And
see, that was the question.
That was but there was someone who said, "Hey, I display my comics in the background of my thing," and I'm like, "No, I'm not asking for China. I'm not asking for your hutch where you keep all your knickknacks. I want comic based stuff." And I'm teasing, of course. It was comics. He was displaying comics.
It was comics. But you know what? And then that actually opened up a discussion for like a Shelfie award, which Geek Insider might actually do.
That's awesome.
I think Geek Insider should do an entire award show just for fans. Like award all the fans.
Hush up, Rob. Stop volunteering me for stuff. We're thinking about one. We're thinking about
fan
one
wards,
for
fan wards.
April or May. We're thinking about that.
Yes, and I have nothing to do with it. I am on vacation from the awards.
And you know what? The cool thing is that I hope more people step up and do awards. And, I mean, I don't know whether it's going to mean anything, but it's really cool to get a laurel or a trophy or a banner or a ribbon or something that you can display on your website or your social media. And it's just for being part of that creative process again. Loving to do that. Does it go beyond that? I mean, this is year 2 or 3, Rob, for Independent Creator Awards.
This is the Independent Creators. This is year 2. This is actually the 4th year we've done awards for comic book advocates. A lot of people don't realize the first 2 years we ran the site, we did awards. I tried, but we weren't there. It wasn't right. I didn't like how it felt. I was encouraged, like Meredith is, through the fan awards, to do this. And I said, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. The first year was almost completely about a panel of judges. People were able to nominate. The panel of judges picked. First, I had a certain panel pick the top ones they wanted. There was no polls. This was just nominations. We picked the top 4 or 5, and then I gave it to a different panel of judges, and they never got to talk to each other. I had over 100 people involved, and no one talked to each other except for me and Chuck, who is my auditor. So no one could ever bring up my integrity or my ethics. He was able to make all the decisions, and the decisions he made, I followed. It took all the control out for me, and I love that. We're going to simplify it a little bit next year. The fans will be able to nominate. There will be a fan runoff, and the top 5 of every category. So even these subcategories within awards, if people do 3, those 3 will automatically move on to that next round. Like, perfect example for today, we're looking at horror is going to pick up a winner and hero. Those 2 mini categories, the subcategories in the writer genre, will be given awards. So now this will give out 3 awards. Of course, the biggest one is Writer of the Year, but then it'll be Writer of Horror Fiction for 2020, which is still cool, right? Absolutely. You're acknowledged and you competed. That's why you have to compete. Someone had gotten upset. Well, I don't understand why it matters if there's just 2 of us, because that's not a competition. That's a versus. We want people to feel like these awards meant something. I'm not charging anyone for these awards. This isn't just my friends. I didn't just go, hey, Dustin, you want an award this weekend? I'll give you an award. We're buddies. It's not how this worked. I've been transparent. I brought Chuck in. For those who don't know, Chuck is, look, I love Chuck. We don't always agree. People have seen us disagree. We challenge each other. There are things I'm sure that we both do that piss each other off, but he's earned the respect of the community. This is just the reality of the world that we live in. You have to be able to say, I did it the right way. And my awards do that. And for those who don't know, our Hall of Fame already has Will Eisner.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we have Buddy Scalera, who does Comic Book School and has done work in DC. We have, and I know C. Michael Lanning will love this one, Roland Mann. Fantastic editor for Marvel. Does Silverline now. He was with is it Malibu?
It was Malibu. He was with Malibu, and then Malibu got bought by Marvel, and he worked with Marvel for a while.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And of course, we have Stephen Cohen, who's an amazing editor. And editors don't get enough love, right? The fact you say the name of an editor and more people don't know it is a criminal offense.
I agree. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this is all about, and it's about showing all the hard work you guys do. Because everyone who does an award show, I always see them talking about Marvel and DC or Image and that stuff. And I'm not saying that they don't. An Image belongs in our Independent Creator Awards. Don't get me wrong. I welcome anyone. Brian Polito is more than welcome. Don't get mad because someone beats you. Work harder to be on their level. That's how I see it. You got to level up. Then, man, put on them tight shorts. Get into the creative gym and get to a point where you're as big as the person next to you.
Absolutely.
Don't try to tear them down either. Don't do that. We kicked someone out last year. Not only were they offering incentives to back their campaigns, to give them an award. That's why I don't like fan awards sometimes, because people were like, I'll give you a free PDF if you vote for me.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then they tore down the competition, pointing out the things that they were doing wrong. They were booted for 2 years. They are not allowed back till next year. And with a strict warning that you do it again, it's a 5-year ban. So I don't just ban you for 1 year. I ban you for the year you fucked up in and the next year too, because I don't play that. Do not take out your competition. There's no reason to be ugly in this. This is a celebration. No matter who wins, we all win. Oh, look at all these people. Look at down here. How many people showed up to look at it? Oh, does it not show it? I saw. Oh, because I'm not in the direct thing.
And that's the thing about the awards too. It's, Geek Insider, we're kind of thinking about it. I know that there are other people who are out there putting out awards and stuff, and it's like, it's great, when people. I'm going to say it, haters are going to hate because they're going to sit there and go, oh, well, you're just kind of copying this person. I'm like, is it bad? Is it bad to celebrate creators? When did that happen? Right?
COMiX is all about taking what other people did and making it your own.
Yeah. And take it, do it better, be that person, because as far as I'm concerned, that's advocacy. And why not shine a light on artists? Let me tell you, because of what I've been doing this year, I've found so many new to me people, and I'm like, they are cool people. They have great art. They have great writing. And just the personalities out there. And I'm like, wow, I'm finding my people. I'm bringing them in, and there is nothing bad about that.
For sure.
Oh,
And look at how many different awards. 55 times this has been shared. 50. Imagine how many people have seen this award alone. So that's this is, and it helps because when people come into these awards, and I did get if you're joining these awards, guys, don't just put your name in there. Drop what you're doing. Think of it this way. The awards are like setting up an advertisement booth.
yeah.
You might not be able to sell your comics from it, but if someone said, hey, here's a table, set it up and show off your stuff, and you put a business card on it, how many people are going to stop for a business card?
Right.
Put a nice display up, people are going to stop.
Hey, I'll be honest with you. I didn't know who Brian Paluto was, but I know who Lady Death is. So now I know who Brian Paluto is.
But that's awesome. Now you know, because not everyone knows. Not everyone's a household. I still explain to people who Stan Lee is. Just like some people explain the Kardashians to me, and I constantly forget.
Oh, those are on Deep Space Nine. There was never mind.
Yeah, that's what I thought. The first time someone said that to me, I was like, yeah, I'm down with them. They were so cool. There was that chick on Deep Space Nine that ran the thing under Cisco, and they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, clearly.
She was anyway, yeah.
But George, you won an award. How was that? Was that like a very cool moment to just be acknowledged?
It was. It was very exciting. It was very exciting. It's happy. Excuse me. I'm going through something right now. But I appreciate it. It feels nice that after all this time, that people recognize something that I've done, and not so much that like, hey, I'm so great, woo, or anything like that, but that this is a result of the hard work you put in and the time you put in, and now you get to stand with all these other creators that's done the same, and even more. So it feels like, hey, you've done something, you've done this, you've built something from nothing, and it's really exciting. I'm really excited. I'm going to put it on my site soon. I've been under the weather lately, which is why I'm like not talking as much.
You're good. I mean, but, we all like to talk, so you're in the perfect place to smile the whole show and be like, yeah, how's that great show? Look.
But I really appreciate it, and it's incentive to keep going, and it's motivation to do what you did, to get what you have, and then do it better next time.
Oh man, right.
Even better next time, and that's where I'm at now. I'm motivated. I'm ready to see what I can do now and what I can do better than I've done up to this point.
Well, you did a great job, so you deserve it, man.
Thank you. I'm excited, and then I get to tell my daughter, "Hey, you're involved in winning an award." Excuse me.
Let me tell you, I told Jax that last year after Cat Dad and Supermom won. I'm telling you, it's only green M&Ms now in the bowls. I have to have a milk at this time. Just be careful with too many awards that goes through their head. I haven't even told him about this year that I won the award for doing the video for Cat Dad and Supermom. He would just be, no, I can't deal with that prima donna action. He would want a new car seat tailored to him. But these awards are kind of amazing that people see you. And I said that recently just on my post. Post a picture of you to be seen. How many of us feel like we don't get seen sometimes? Like we don't, literally, like people don't stop and look at us. That's what the awards are. They're people looking at what you're doing and then saying yes. It's a show of your fan base when they show up for you. I'm in an award today that I haven't pushed myself in many awards. And I'll be damned if I'm not winning some of them just by default. I haven't shared it. I don't talk about it. I'm not like Meredith trying to win the Rookie of the Year award. I know what Meredith's doing. Meredith's building kit. Was riding down 75 in Florida. I saw a giant sign on a billboard. Meredith for Rookie of the Year, Independent Creator Award. She wants it. And I like that too. And I like it because she's not cheating. She's not talking that bad about anyone else. Every time you ask her about it, she's like, there's really good competition. Unlike the Continuum when she's talking on her show and it's only about Reapers. She says there's just this book, there's Reapers and then some other crap. Nope. I only like the Reapers. I think you should get it for the Reapers. I think that's a little rude, don't you guys? But whatever. It's the jazzy hand effect, I know. But no, seriously, kidding around aside. This is cool. It's fun to see creators be competitive. It's fun to see us, because guess what? We're not talking about politics, are we? We're not talking about anything that anyone's offended about. We're talking about what each other are creating. And people are stopping going, dude, that's cool. I have seen it so many times where people have said, wow. And that's it. That's the moment. Look what we're bringing together. It's not just about the awards. It's about the acknowledgement.
Well, it's a show of solidarity, right? I mean,
yeah, where we can come together. Because while I do believe the comic book is not a community, it is an industry. Industries come together and rise together. There's nothing wrong with that. We work together. And it's always amazing to see when creators are willing to come together and work together, because that's what a comic book is. If you think about it, think about all those huge, epic storylines, House of M and all that. How many creators have to come together to do that over 30 issues?
Absolutely.
When we work together, we make amazing things. And that's why these awards, that's why we'll never charge for an award. Doesn't mean we won't get a sponsor, maybe. So we get a sponsor, then I can give out physical awards, not just digital awards. That would be cool, right?
Yeah.
You know, so I might get a sponsor, but I'll never have them tell us what we can give an award away for. Someone had mentioned that we didn't give an award away this year for more of an adult material topic. And I was like, damn, I never thought of that. I have an adult-themed book. I should have been all over that. What's wrong with? I have to start looking at the awards I want to win next year, because next year when it goes back to the judges, this year, because it was after 2020, we all took a beating in 2020. I never felt comfortable for being awarded because my year was rough. I did a lot of behind the scenes work and built a lot, but publicly I didn't show a lot. Does that make sense to everyone?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like some of the things I needed to get an award for, I should. Like and Meredith talked about us cutting things down. There was a point where I could just easily have, turned around and given myself an award this year for the crowdfunding thing. So, but I didn't do that. But Meredith, can you take over for? Actually, never mind. I was going to say someone just called me and I wanted to see if they were able to come on, and I just got told they are. So we have a special guest joining us. Does anyone have to leave? We are at a 1 hour mark. And I only told everyone this should be an hour, but we're going a little long today. So if anyone has to leave, you're free to go right now.
I would love to stay, but I've got to deal with some other things.
The 4-year-old. Just be honest. This will be the next feed.
She's kicking your butt. It's all right.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard any of my kids playing, but yeah.
When you're a parent, your ears always hear it. I hear C's kid, and I'm like, what's going on? You can't help it.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling. When I was a parent, it was the quiet times. It's like, oh crap, what are they into?
Yes.
Oh my God, she's so right. When I don't hear checks, I'm like, Meredith has seen it. I don't hear anything.
The dad's
Raptor is up to something. I have to go. I'll be right back.
For sure.
But go ahead, George. Tell them where they can follow you and go take care of what you got to, man. And you're always welcome back. You're always welcome back.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I'm gonna come back. Hopefully, I'll be better. And you can follow my work at GeoGant Art on all of the major social networks. You can follow Beware of Tyler at the same Beware of Tyler, all the major social networks. You can go to geogantart.com to see more of my work. You can go to bewareoftyler.com to read the comic. You can read the comic on Webtoon. It's there as well. And thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Can't wait for you to come back and tell us more, especially that you're on Kickstarter with your book as a collected edition.
I am working on that. It has to be this year. If I don't do it this year, I'm going to lose my mind.
But George, just don't ask Dustin for help on the video.
Yeah, I'm not that guy.
No, we're gonna get Dustin to have a great video this year. That's now my goal. I actually wrote it down in my notes, Dustin. I'm gonna be bothering you. I'm gonna be bothering you. Be like, when's the video? Let me see the. Because I want Dustin because he has such an amazing book. There was this other book that's mislabeled. It's called Belial, but it's really about this cool character named Link.
It's Chuck.
Amazing.
I've never heard of it. Who's
No.
that?
All right, George, you go have a good
Nice
rest.
meeting you, George.
All right, you guys too. Thank you. Nice to meet you all.
Take it easy,
And
man.
our host for this evening's festivities has shown up. Here he is, the man, the words man. And of course, if no one gets the joke, the biggest editor in indie comics right now is hosting the awards for words. Come on, come on!
It felt appropriate.
It's kind of my own little. Okay, tell them who you are. Tell them what you're up to, and we'll get into this.
What's going on, gang? I am Chuck Pino, Pineau. I'm a writer and editor for such projects as, well, I mean, Rob and I have worked on tons of stuff together. Cat Dad and Supermom, Barbara Unleashed, all a big chunk of his stuff. And then, of course, I have my own projects, Essence House, Belial, Welcome to the Void. I've worked on tons of stuff. So, yeah.
He's basically edited everything from the 2019 that came out to 2020. No, he is. It's insane. He's on Kickstarter just as a backup of a person. And I've said this about Chuck, and this is why I thought the Hustle of the Year award should have gone to him. He's not always just talking about his own thing. In the middle of a campaign, when he's busting to get as much, and you have to worry about it. And Dustin, I'm sure you feel this. Facebook stops sharing your stuff.
Oh,
your friends
absolutely.
are like, I don't see it anymore. He'll stop and share someone else's Kickstarter, even when that's at that point it is your currency, and he spends it on another creator, and I think that's amazing that Chuck does that.
Chuck's cool as shit regardless. You know what I mean? He's a good guy, and he's super talented in his own right and the things he does. And it's always easy. Like if you pick up a project that he's on, you can almost tell it's his project. You know what I mean? Like, even if it's editing, you can look and see, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is something that Chuck would put down on paper. So, we're really excited to, I'm excited to talk to him. He's a great guy, so I'm happy we're on at the same time.
Thanks, homie. Yeah, we got to do a show together. I got to jump on his comic camaraderie, and we had a great time. So, yeah, thank you, homie.
Yeah, of course, bro.
And I'm excited about the awards tonight.
Yeah.
That's awesome, right?
I don't know if you saw this. Remember the genres that we put in this year?
Vaguely, yeah.
So for the one big thing that no one paid attention to is I posted what genres to use. So unfortunately, people didn't listen to Rob, and that seems to go around sometimes. So now we have this issue where, like Edward Davis, he has 69 votes, but he put himself in post-apocalyptic fantasy. He made a genre we weren't covering, so it's now so niche, he's not competing against anyone else. So we can't give an award for that. So it's kind of sad. I would have stuck him in with fantasy, but people weren't really doing fantasy. We'll give one away for horror and hero tonight. That's what it'll be. But even Garrett Gunn would. And when someone put Garrett Gunn in, they should have put a genre because he's got votes that he would have won. Mm-hmm. Stephanie Menard, for horror, she looks like she might win the horror thing. There's no one above her that says they do horror.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I can't wait to get in on that next year.
Yeah. And Victor Dandridge, I wish there was more drama. I could not believe there was only one drama category entry. Yeah. So, and it kind of, like, again, genre, steampunk, alternate history, supernatural, those aren't genres.
Yeah, that wasn't part of the options.
Yeah, that was and we were talking about no one had read it, so next year we're going to have to streamline. And that's okay. We tried something in the middle of this, and it's brand new. We'll bring it back next year and make it work better. And Chuck's, and like, you weren't here when I said this. You're the man who told me when I couldn't do something. I've always trusted your guidance. And we had talked today. I know Chuck hasn't signed up to do the third year, and I don't know why he would. But the first 2 years have been an amazing journey of seeing what people wanted and responding. And I think that one thing that makes this award stand across from anything else is that we do truly involve the fans. Even in year one, they were nominating. They were allowed to be part of this because we respect the fans and everything that they do. And here's a shout out to you from Mike. Chuck, welcome
What
to
up,
the.
Holman?
You know he wants number 2, right?
Oh, dude, he won't. I love the guy to death, but he won't shut up about it. He's very excited. So when it comes out, I'm gonna have to give a special shout out to him because it will be because of him.
You're gonna have to do a special coverage this way. He's got to get a one only.
The
This
mic
is for
drop
you,
cover, yeah.
Yeah,
Mic drop
this
cover.
one's
That's
just
amazing.
for you. I don't care if you like sign it and then have it laminated. You know, something different just for him.
The Mike
So, yeah,
James
Brian-
roasting period.
I do think Brian will take the main thing at this point, which will be kind of cool. I don't know if Brian will be on the show. I'm not trying to say Brian's going to pop up for the show. That's not at all what I'm saying. He's aware he's running. He has shared it. So I'm going to be reaching out to him and offering him a seat this evening on the early evening because we're at 6 p.m. 5 p.m. Chuck time.
Chuck time. That's what the C stands for in CST.
It does. It's
Chuck standard time.
Chuck standard time. So get it right, people. So we're going to move on. What's the next category? What's the next category we have up this year? Because I made this handy dandy cheat sheet for everyone today.
Yay.
We did all ages. Oh, we didn't do the single best shot. Okay, now, first off, remember how I talked about how my fans came out to support me? Y'all let me down on this one. I did not feel the support on this one. I also didn't feel a lot of people being active with it. I really thought this would have gotten more people involved.
I don't know. Comic shorts?
Yeah. You don't think this should have had more excitement than it had?
How much excitement do we get for anthologies in general?
Yeah, but you made it. Fucking advertise it. Get it out there. Let the
Yeah, but
world know what you created.
It's not even just about that. It's like even when you advertise it, is anybody like you know me? I shared every single category when they came out. I shared them and I talked about them. Like the Editor of the Year award, I even said I did that, and I just kept getting a bunch of people saying Chuck, and I was like, no. There are so many good. The issue with Editor of the Year is that I'm going to win, or like I could win at that point, and I didn't want to win like that. I didn't want to win because no one else was willing to talk about their editor. So I reshared it and I said, please share your editor. Vote for your editor. Push your editor. The whole thing, my whole thing is that editors are unseen.
Absolutely.
So I don't give a fuck. I would rather lose to a fucking stacked field of professionals than win by myself. That's not fucking cool.
Well,
so
let's talk about that the other day with you and I talked about it. Actually, it's like the writer as well. It's like the drummer of the band, right? You see that certain members of the band, they're out there blasting and everybody loves it. But you have the guys in the back, the drummer and the manager that are making sure everybody's getting what they need and they're at shows and everything else. And it's like, who we got to stand up ourselves and be like, hey, look, here's my editor, here's my writer. These are the guys that make sure the stories come out versus just who's got beautiful art, who's got this, who's got that. It's nice to see the different, the different people being brought in and seen because they deserve it, the respect as well as anybody else does.
And Chuck, I know you said that anthologies don't get a lot of traction. It's sad that they don't, right? There should be something like, I don't know, a creative library. That's right. You can enter the continuum right now. A library for independent creation is born.
Except for I was told that that's not an anthology. That's specifically
that's what I said. You have to create a library of creation instead. That's what I said.
So next year when we're doing best anthology, we can't. None of those are eligible.
Nope, none of it. None of it. It'll go into its own category. As a matter of fact, next year I'm announcing it now. Everyone who's entered into the continuum will have a vote for the best story in the continuum as part of the Independent Creator Awards. Oh, Chuck, I was ready for you. But
this is short story here, isn't it? This is short.
Yeah.
Right?
I was just kidding.
No, he's trying to mess with me, but I was ready. I was ready. And you can enter the continuum by going to the COMiX.com. That's COMIX. Paying respect to the underground movement that started indie comics. All right, so I'm done being excited. Here we go.
Yeah, please do.
Take it down, Rob. Down, boy. Here we go. And Chuck knows all about this. Look at the beautifulness I make. I should get paid for what I do. I'm just saying, look at this beautiful work here. of taking everyone else's art and making it look good. No, kidding around aside, our good friend Austin Janowatsky was part of this. Chuck invades Oz with the story. Oh, this is anthology. We're on an anthology. I'm on the wrong ones. Because Chuck is actually in the other one too, right?
Well, I'm in this one as well. Yeah.
Yeah. No, technically he's in this one. We're actually, I got confused because you mentioned anthology. You turned my head around. This is the one I was trying to talk about. Best single shorts. Ragnarok? How would you say that?
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok.
Oh, that's how that's spelled. Shit. All right. Ragnarok.
Damn dyslexia.
I know, right? The Scarecrow. What is Scarecrow doing? Chuck.
You got to read the story.
Chuck, no.
You got to read the story.
No. And then, this sucks. This really sucks because this has happened a couple times. So if Creative Journey somehow beats Scarecrow, son of a bitch still wins the award over there because Chuck was part of the comic book school anthology, which also Ragnarok was. So 2 from the comic book school are running in the awards. Sadly, these are the only 3 that came up. I'm very disappointed in my fellow creators. You all dropped the ball on this one. And being in this competition with these 2 gentlemen, it's awesome. I really do think these are great guys. I know Scarecrow is on the Kickstarter, so people were able to actually see the part 1 of the story that made it eligible, but will technically make it eligible as well in 2021's awards, but as an anthology short, again, because he'll be distributed through print. So that's kind of cool, because right now it was technically almost a webcomic.
Yep.
By default. So it'll switch gears next year. Of course, my Creative Journey, something I was very proud of. That was, and I'd said this, and I think me and Chuck talked about this. This year, I didn't feel like I earned the awards because I didn't do enough work. But that was one thing that I would not let fail. And Chuck knows how many times I had problems with that. I must have replaced artists on it for an 8-page story because every artist was supposed to have their own page. I replaced 7 artists on an 8-page comic. Let that soak in.
Can we? So the artists that you used are fantastic. That's terrific. I'm so glad for all of them. Who is the one artist that didn't get replaced? Who's the one person that was there from the beginning?
Well, me.
Artist as artist.
I'm an artist with my lettering. No, kidding around aside. Mike Seeley came through to me. He was there from day one. Nothing but respect. Martha Schwartz had my back. Nothing but respect for my girl Martha. And yeah, that's the end of the list. From day one, Chuck, that's the end of the list. Yeah. And I still landed the fucker.
Yep.
Still landed it. In 2020. Just saying. Meredith knows how I roll. I say something's going to be made, I make it.
You know what? I feel bad though. I came in, I talked about the awards real quick. I actually have to run. I forgot that somebody just called me and said, "Hey, we're having our meeting now, right?" I'm like, "Ah, crap, that's right." So
you're in the right place right now. But no, tell them where they can find you. Tell them how they can find you. We'll hang out tonight and give out some awards.
Yeah, that's right. Tonight you can find me on the Creator Awards, but in general, I'm Chuck PINEAU. You can find me on Facebook at that name. You can find me on Instagram at that name. You can find me at Chucky Pin on Twitter. You can find my Bonfire Press on Facebook, and you can find Essence House on any one of the streaming sites, including Audible, all that kind of stuff. It's absolutely amazing. And you can find my Chuck's Raw Reviews and Chuck's Shop Talk on YouTube. Chuck's Raw Reviews. So thank you so much, everybody. Peace, love, and comics. Take care of yourselves.
Have a good one, Chuck.
Thanks, guys. Much love.
C has been way too quiet. It's freaking me out now.
God, no, I'm just listening, man.
It has officially
enjoying the creativity in the room.
I want him to read the next award. Well, I'm so used to you being like trading back and forth with you because when we're in a room together, it's usually like news. It's like, and what do you think? Like right now, he's quiet, so he gets to read the next one. The next thing up that's up for the, and you can see me even putting too close, like letting people know, hey. And I put in, if I thought someone was winning, I actually put it in here. So Chris, I think, is going to take it. I gave you little spoilers. This one's pretty cool. Go ahead. Let them know about it, see.
Which one am I looking at?
It's popping up. You know.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
Anytime now.
All right. Award for the Originality Award. What comic was released in 2020 or continuing series with a new issue in 2020 is one of the most original idea you say in comic form in 2020? Well, fans can add them, but oh, there I go.
Oh no, C is down. C is down.
See, that's if I was quiet, that wouldn't have happened.
I'm sorry, C. That's when
like Dustin was talking about having to stack stuff up. I'm on top of my Batman 65 box set right now. So, all right, you want me to read this whole thing?
No.
Like it's Friday.
No. You just had to announce the award. You went wait. I was about to cut you off, and then you fell down.
Yeah.
I was like, no, C, come back. No, we got
to kick him while he's down.
We have a whole cool cover for this. So this one is the Originality Award, which. Oh, look, my creative journey's there. You guys can vote for my creative journey again. You guys see a theme? I was using it to promote. But here we go. Right. Oh, man. Wait a minute. Someone just snuck up and put something in today. Erratic is now challenging me. Might be kicking me out of my third spot. I only have one vote. You guys suck. Who took their vote away? You sons of bitches. I'm going to find out. No. Here we go. Immortal Errors looks. I mean, I don't want to say things are done, but 23 votes. That's a sizable lead going into it. We're already at Well, you're talking about 5 hours.
That's only 19. What? 19? 18 ahead. Yeah.
19 to take the win. You were right. First thing. 19 to take the win. But I'm sure Edward's back there. He promotes, man. Edward's a hustler. He gets it out there. Like when he enters it, he's always in first or second place. But we have him. We have the Macabre. Can someone say the damn word? Thank you. Motel by Frank Martin, and then Erratic. That sounds like me on a show.
See the Macabre Motel. You know what's funny about that? That goes to show you how well a video does, because I remember his video.
Oh,
with his talk and his kind of sounding all Twilight Zone. I think it's like by a fireplace or something like that. So
and remember,
to show you that a pitch video can stick with people long after.
I have a different video you guys haven't seen that is much cooler that didn't get made till later because I didn't know what I was doing, and my letterer ended up putting it together for me. And I'll get you guys links to it. I gotta find it. It's around.
No, today. Go find it. We'll play it on the show.
Yeah, for sure. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it.
We're gonna put Dustin into the research and development room, and he's gonna get us that.
He just went dark. What?
Got serious, man. He had to go dark to get the right information. But comicbookschoolremembered.com has the Creator Connections Panel 1, a 344-page creation that went against 2020 and proved that even creation can survive in a pandemic. Yeah, I'm good at pitch lines. What can I say? And you want to vote for it just for the pitch line. You don't have time to download it and read it. That's fine. Just give me the vote. I'm okay. Do it now. Do it. Vote for me. Come on. No, I'm kidding. Immortal Era, Edward Davis. I've read that book. That is amazing. Like, if I got to lose to someone, I want to lose to someone like Edward Davies. So, but it's not over. C's right. Just 14 we decided on, right? Yeah, 14. It's just 14 votes away. So, I'm not going to ask you to read the next one because that did not go well when I asked you to read. Just you do you. I'm not.
I thought when I moved into my new studio, everything would be solid, but no, you guys showed me that I was wrong.
You guys will actually see an ad this evening, and everyone will understand how funny that is. Chuck was like, "Can I play an Essence House ad?" I was like, "Yeah, I guess." I mean, I was liking doing my videos because none of you gave in any commercials, but.
Next year, something to pay attention to, because this was an opportunity for people to promote themselves again. I mean, even if it was their Kickstarter video, 30 seconds to a minute.
Nope. Next year.
How hard was that?
Next year, I'm going to do next year, Meredith. I'm going to sell it. I'm going to just give it to advertisers. It was free this year for everyone, but no, next year I'm just going to give it to advertisers. See what you all.
That works.
Go do it.
I hope you're happy. I'm so mean to people.
Am I going to get a check in the mail?
But no, you know what's funny?
Hey.
I kept saying it, and no one went, "Hey, Rob, if I give you a video, will you play it on the awards tonight?" And I would have said yes. I kept dogging people, like begging them to try to do it. None of them said that they wanted it played. So, like, y'all suck a little bit. I'm just saying.
You can play mine on there. I'll more than happy to have you play mine on there.
I'm going to play his tonight. See what happens when you ask?
So I put the link in the private chat for that video.
I'm working on actually uploading it right now.
Sweet. Yeah, it's really cool, man. It blew my mind. I didn't know you could do stuff like that. So, it's really cool.
We're about to play backer pause, everyone, when it's done uploading.
ES did a killer
35
job.
35 minutes. Dustin, it's 35. No, I'm kidding.
You know what? That'd be really cool, but no, it's definitely not. This was a cool thing that he did for me, where he took imagery from our first book and turned it into almost a stop motion video, and it turned out really, really cool.
Well, we can watch it. So everyone remember the rules of backer pause. Raise your hand when you feel like your interests have been lost. But this looks cool. I got to look at a little bit of it while it was uploading in the background, so I'm kind of excited. Let's see. And away we go.
Wow.
Where's
the only thing I would say is it needs just a tiny bit of voiceover, because one of the things that I do for backer pause, honestly, is, or anytime I see a video, I give it 2 views, one with my eyes open and one with my eyes closed.
That makes sense for sure.
Here, watch how it would sound with the voiceover. We'll tag someone in who has a great sexual, like, sounding, very deep voice. Oh, I'll do it.
Thank you. Is that what we're doing?
I'll do it. Here we go. The Listener. When Winds Weep. A spiritual horror story set in brutality of World War II. A world with the unspeakable evil. Live now on Kickstarter. Get your copy today. See how much better that is?
For sure, I got you. Right on. Like you said, man, I'm learning, and the more we do it, the better we get at it. So I'm going to definitely hit you guys up for some of those special fingers and whatnot.
I would put that honestly up on your wall right now, because remember one thing about the video, you want them to go to your profile, the main body. So if they watch that, they're going to be like, I need to know more. You won. It's that quick elevator. Everyone gets the videos wrong. You don't want them to back it from the video, because they can't. They have to go to your Kickstarter.
That makes perfect sense for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, put that up there. And we'll play that tonight on the awards. And I'll actually do the voiceover.
Phil is in comments here saying, hey, Dustin, you know a voiceover dude. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
I mean, of course he knows me. I'm right here. I just did it for him, Phil. Really, Phil? I mean...
Yeah, come on, Phil. What?
You're embarrassing me.
Nothing's worse than telling somebody that they didn't make the audition.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Back to your corner, Rob. Back to your corner.
You know, before I forget, speaking of Phil's, because he just came up, Phil Leon is actually editing my secondary series, so we're really excited to be working with him to do that. And Greed is going to be a lot of fun, and it's set in the world of the Listener, but it's through the viewpoint of a 10-year-old kid.
Oh, cool.
You know, and his monster under the bed. So we're really excited to be able to bring a different type of horror, you know, because children view things scarier in different ways than we do as adults. So I'm really, really hyped about that.
No, they don't. I've never seen one kid be afraid of taxes.
They just don't understand the horror of taxes. Now let them understand the horror of taxes.
Even the Joker said he wouldn't mess with the IRS.
Yeah, kids, until they see their first paycheck, they're like, what? Taxes? Yeah, mom and dad, whatever. And then they're like, half my paycheck's gone.
Yeah, you ain't.
Absolutely.
All right, so we have the other new series launched in 2020. So this had to be a brand new series. I mean, again, it's close. Voodoo Nations is right on the heels of Divinity, and I think we have someone in the studio audience that can tell us about Divinity. Am I saying that right? I feel like
Divinity.
Thank you.
Divinity. Yeah, it's a Silver Line book, of course, added by Roland Man, as we were talking about. And Divinity is about a young girl who has healing powers, and of course, this also means that now religious sects, military, and everybody's after her. So she's on the run after a mysterious death of her parents, and her half brother comes home from the army to take care of her. So it's a real great series. I have seen some of the fantastic art. It's inked and cut. I can't remember who this was colored by, but the second issue was colored and inked by Barb Kalberg, who also helped create the series. It's fantastic. Take a look at it. Of course, you can look at that at silverline.com, and it will give you the links to Indie Planet, I think, has it also. You can go look over there for Indie Planet if you missed the Kickstarter, and I'm sure another one's coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, I think they were just hinting about that, believe it or not.
Well, we have another Kickstarter, but it's not for Divinity 2. It's for a couple of other comics.
Oh, I thought I saw Divinity. I'm sorry. I actually thought I saw something for it as a coming.
It's coming soon. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not this Kickstarter, but the next. Silverline's always pumping out. So.
And Voodoo, and sorry, I put for some reason I hit the wrong button. Voodoo Nations, of course, started last year. Travis Gibb, Luke Stone did amazing on crowdfunding. The Pits looks amazing. Again, I get to see all these new things I never knew about. Frontier Forever, Regenesis. Never heard of that until this year. And here's where people showed up, and I loved it. There are all these different people. XCT, Fractured Worlds. I'm surprised Sean hasn't promoted this. I think he might have just forgotten to. Some people did, and I saw it in the last 2 days. They noticed that I shared it, and they're like, oh my God, I never shared it, Rob. Do I still have time to get my fan base? And speaking of, do I still have time to get my fan base if I did this? Of course I didn't do it right. Duh. I put in, here it is, the build-up. This was a very tight race that suddenly didn't get so tight. Buddy Scalera on Friday said to me, and I think Cthulhu Invades Oz and Comic Book School were neck and neck. We were talking like 3 votes. And I think at the time, Cthulhu Invades Oz was winning. And Buddy's like, oh, did I miss it? Did I miss it? And I'm like, no, we don't do the awards till Sunday at 6 p.m. He's like, all right, I got it. He's now at 70. That's what I'm talking about. Motivate your fan base, because he came in and he got it. I know if Travis sees this, he's going to be like, well, maybe I can get it. So it's too close to call in my mind, because Travis will go out there and he'll wave a flag. But that's what's amazing about this, because you see people getting excited. Of course, Zombies Were Not Human 2 is up for the award. We talked about that a little earlier when we saw it up. But you also had something from Jack Holder over here, The Great Commandment. You got Harvest of Horrors. And dude, you know what? I don't know how she figured out how to do that.
I was looking at that. I was like,
but
that
is awesome. That's amazing. That is amazing. I hope everyone votes for her now. I want to give her. I want to give her the award for ingenuity. Yeah, I think that's it. Gina, I think I'm saying that way. Gina, your last name, it says exactly what I have to say.
Bravo.
Bravo. I love that. That's beautiful. That's how you do it, kids. You hit a wall, you find a way to climb it or break it on down. All right. So that was
going to be somebody's spirit animal.
Yeah, I mean that was cool. So here it is. Here's our one more time for our anthologies, and I'm trying to. It's not always easy to tell which one of these are, because some of them are running in 2 different categories. We had shown it. No, that's not it. I don't have the anthology up yet, do I? Yeah, I have to get the anthology up later, because I'm in the middle of still working on it. Because in the anthology, we're just showing. No, that's it. Cthulhu, right? Cthulhu Invades Oz. There it is. I do have it up. Cthulhu. That's something she said. Cthulhu Invades Oz.
It sounded like she was surprised too, there, Rob.
Yeah, there was a question mark there. There was a question.
You know, I'm older. Stop judging me.
Oh, you have it up?
The pills take a little while to work. So, Volume 2, Zombies Were Human 2. And, of course, Creator Connections Panel 1 is in first place. I can't. And here's an interesting fact. No matter who wins out of the top two, I'm a winner, baby. Because I'm part of both of those amazing projects. So I'm pretty excited about that. And that's why, like, I don't care. I get excited about everything I work on. I'm proud of everything I work on. If it's put out and I'm not proud of it, why did I put it out?
Right, absolutely.
Now, exactly. There might or might not be a story that might have been made into a adult entertainment variety feature that they did not have the permission to do. So one day that might come back to haunt me, but it'll be just giggles. Short story. I'll tell it in a short story format. I had a flu. I had 102 fever. Someone asked if I could write this story about for cosplayers to do this fan fiction story. So I just wrote something because Meredith's seen it. I can write a lot very quickly. But if I don't edit it and I just do a basic edit, I can get you a story, honestly, in 35 minutes. A whole comic book story in prose form, not panel form. And everyone in the room knows what I mean, just the basics of the story. I can get you an entire issue. So I wrote out an entire issue, and I told them again, you can't do this, even with being cosplay. I don't think this is legal, but here's what I would do. This is how I would do it if you're going to do it anyway. Look at the script, see if the girls are okay with it, and then maybe try to find out the legalities of selling a cos. Because this was back when cosplay calendars were new, and no one really knew the line yet because no one had really tried to kickstart it. That's how long ago this was. This is like, I'm talking 5 years ago now. So I send them the script, and all of a sudden this girl goes, "Hey, you sure that the girls have to be nude?" I'm like, what? I go back and read the scripts. I had a fever. This is like 3 days later. And I read the script. There's not 1 ounce of nudity in the entire script I wrote. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She sends me back a script where this guy went over and put in more sexual leaning stuff, girls being naked for no reason. And I was like, I absolutely did not write that. I sent her my thing, and I was like, please tell him, because he wouldn't respond to me now. I was like, please tell him I will go after him if he uses my name. So that's don't write when you have the flu, kids.
That's a serious PSA right there.
Yeah.
And it was literally like, I read it later and I could not remember. You know when you're so sick you couldn't remember writing it? But I gotta say, it was pretty damn good. I liked my story. I was like, because I was reading it out like it was almost the first time. I'm like, who wrote this? Oh shit, I did. It's on my computer. Yeah, so if that comes back,
or did NyQuil write it? That's the question.
Right? Like, written by NyQuil, written by FeverX.
Oh no!
It's gonna be my new pen name, FeverX. Every time I have a flu, I'm gonna write something. It's gonna become a porno.
Right. That's like your adult pen name, right?
Yeah, there we go. And then we have here the indie comic book series of the year. Meredith's going to be excited about this one. Sugar Pop. There we go. It's about the Queen of Unicorns. That was actually, in all honesty, that was Meredith's actual college name. She was called the Queen of Unicorns.
Oh, no.
At least it was Queen of Unicorns and not Sugar Pop.
No, she wasn't Sugar Pop. She was the Queen of Unicorns. And you guys insert what you want that to mean. By our friend, a good friend actually of the show, Robert Molitari. We love him. He's publishing through Lone Wolf Comics. And there's that guy, Travis Gibb, always adding bodies to his count with Broke Down, and I think he's up to Broke Down and 37 bodies in the trunk.
Right.
That's the Kickstarter that just started.
Well, they do decompose after a while, just add more.
Oh,
yeah.
Broke Down and Goop in the trunk. Oh.
So is that dead bodies, or is that just the new Ford smell? I just can't tell. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, Meredith, Jaxie's outside. You want to start saying goodbye for us and sending us off because we're about to 2-hour mark. I will be back in 5 minutes. So
all right.
Talk about Continuum. Show your Jazzy Hands video. And know that there's a vote for a better video going on right now that you won't get.
Oh, dear. And I haven't had a chance to work on that, but I know, Rob, you're going to say no excuses. No excuses.
I'm going to have it. Mine's coming up. I'm ready on Wednesday. It's going to be crazy.
Oh, it's going to look similarly to the jazzy hands, but more energy, right? You're bringing it.
Mine's gonna be fantastically new, completely different than anything Meredith's done. I don't care if it looks similar. It's gonna have a great voiceover for it. So that's all that matters, right? I'll see you all at 5.
All right. And try to sort through all of these videos that he's got. My goodness, I have no idea where to go with this here. So, see, I'm going to have you take the mic for a little bit and maybe go around the room and let people say goodbye and where they can follow. Well, Dustin, you're the last man standing here. Why don't you tell everybody where we can?
So the listener can be found on Kickstarter, like we've mentioned before. Win Wins Weep is on Kickstarter right now. That's our current book, and you can also snag copies of book 1 from that Kickstarter. I suck at Twitter and I suck at Instagram, so Facebook though I watch my children. So if you guys want to message me on Facebook, follow me on Facebook. You can follow the listener at the Listener COMiX on Facebook. 2 different, my own personal and the group. I love talking to people. And I love talking to fans, and I love, answering questions. You can also find me with my partner Kevin on Comic Roddery Friday nights, generally speaking. And you can also find me on the Listener Podcast Friday nights. Currently, we're playing The Road to Sin, which is our tabletop RPG. We're playing that on Friday. We're hanging out. We're having a good time. And we're just basically shooting the shit, about the industry and what we're doing with the listener and how things are going. I mean, real easy to get along with. So you guys feel free to reach out. I'm not that guy that ignores anybody. So if you have a question or anything, just hit me up.
Awesome. Awesome. And I don't know if I've got the right video, so I'm just going to hit a button. Here we go.
We're going to enjoy it one way or another.
Yeah.
Are you ready to enter the continuum? Well, if you are, here's what's ahead for you. Reapers by C. Michael Lanning and Meredith Logren. When spirits can be harvested and sold for energy, the ragtops must navigate psychic vampires, alien reverends, and other money-hungry groups to reap that sweet, sweet spiritual gold. The beginning of Wolf and Fox, it all starts here. From Luke Stone, Rob Anderson, a newly divorced heroic duo must come to grips with the end of their relationship while trying to find a way to work together to protect the city they both love. From Mike Seeley and Bobby Gregory, The Eclipse. After a tragic event on one of the Hawaiian islands, Eclipse heroism is called into question and becomes a person of interest of a fixer employed by the U.S. government. The story of Eclipse is a catalyst to introduce a universe unknown till now to evoke your fandom. Dawn of the Dead by Austin and Company. Dawn has special psychic abilities and her nightmares are wreaking havoc on the world. Now she has been kidnapped by a nefarious group who wants to tap into her nightmares. They will soon find out that her deepest, darkest fears are raising the dead. And finally, Only Death Can Save Us. That's right, from Russ Leach and Company. Only Death Can Save Us is a Bronze Age-inspired cosmic fantasy romp, and you'll get the first 8 pages of this epic within the continuum. If Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, and Hitchcock Presents were working together and was a comic book series, it would be the continuum.
See, I had a 50-50 chance of picking my video, but no, this is why I don't gamble. Don't gamble, kids, because you have a 50-50 chance of losing too.
Video regardless, cool stuff on there.
Yeah, you know what? And that was the thing. It's like I needed the voiceover because I knew that was the thing for mine. I'm not going to play mine right now because I'll let Rob shine for a little bit here. Because. Right. But tonight, yeah, definitely, guys, tune in at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central. And that is for the Independent Creator Awards. Also head over to the Kickstarters, the Indiegogos, whatever it is, the creators that you know and love, give them love. It doesn't have to be monetarily. A like, a share, a blast out to your social media means a lot because it's helping them reach your audience. And quite honestly, if it wasn't for people who advocate, like everybody here in the room and the people in my social network as well, I wouldn't have found new to me people. you know, and that is so important to get that step beyond. So hit that share button. It doesn't hurt to do that. Anybody who's out there growing their YouTube channel as well, it's another thing to hit the subscribe button. You don't have to hit the notifications bell if you don't want to know when they're going live all the time, but hit the subscribe. It doesn't hurt anything either, because you need, in order to grow those channels. And a lot of people are, it's another vehicle to pivot as far as promotion and marketing and growing and finding those avenues. You need a minimum of, I want to say, 100 subscribers to get a vanity URL. You need 1,000 subscribers to even begin to qualify to monetize and get super chats for your YouTube channel. But you also need 4,000 watch hours. So, again, when you see your favorite creators who are out there and they are hustling, hit the subscribe button, share it out with your friends. I can't stress that enough. The awards, that's another way to market yourself, to get your name out there, to become a little better known, because unfortunately, when Comic Cons were closed down, we had to pivot. And virtual is it right now. Things are starting to open up. But you know what? This has opened us up to a universal audience around the world. And so seize those opportunities whenever you can. Head over to Enter the Continuum. We are on Kickstarter right now. And that is, let me just take a quick peek here, because I had that window open, but then I closed it accidentally. Let's see. All right, we've got 12 days to go. We've got 83 backers. Thank you for the 83 backers that came in. 12 days to go. We're trying to hit 100 backers over there on Enter the Continuum.
200. I want 200 backers, man.
Well, of course we want 200, but what do they get at 100, Rob?
But at 100, they get a super cool PDF pack that's going to have exclusives from behind the scenes. But the library, if everyone backs for $1, you get over 300 pages of comic books.
That's all.
You get one story from us, 300 pages from over a dozen different titles that are now part of this. It's, how aren't you backing? You don't like comics. That's it. I get it.
Wow.
You don't like comics. You don't like. It's okay.
You have been called out, people.
Ooh.
And if you don't have $1, I get it. Hook up with us after the campaign when you have $1. We'll give it to you still. Because I'm all about that.
For sure.
Say hi, Jack.
Man, and it just takes like that digital high five, right? It's just a digital high five. All you got to do is that, and
I love that, Dustin.
I have a tier in mind that says digital high five. If you just want to stay high, man, because the algorithm is so crazy. And if you can just come in and say, hey, what's up? Thanks for stopping by. You get it's a kindness, and it takes nothing to share a little bit of kindness in this world, especially to the people that are working really hard to give you guys beautiful content. Like I said, I wouldn't give you something that I don't want to read. So to give you guys quality content, it does take cash, and when we started the listener, it was all out of pocket. There was no, hey, Kickstarter, there was nothing. First issue was done out of pocket. And then it was like, hey, have you learned how to back this stuff? And I was just learning, so hopping on Kickstarter was a beautiful thing. And for people to be so kind as to just walk by and go, hey, look, here's $1. I stopped. I said, hey, thank you so much, because it puts it out to people, right? Like right now, we're a project we love, and that was an amazing thing to us. Like I am so, just humbled by the fact that happened. And then we were like number 2 on Kick Tracks. That blew my mind as well. Right up there with the likes of Brian Polito and stuff were us, this little fish, like I mentioned earlier, that's coming into this sea of talent. So it's those little things, man. Those, hey, how are you? Here's my buddy. He's an awesome writer, or he's an awesome artist. Support your people, man. It just takes 1 second of your time.
And not only that, but also share it. Make sure you share that.
Absolutely.
Those shares are they mean a lot. They're a lifeline. So yeah, go ahead, share it. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you can. That is most appreciated.
Oh, man.
Where can people find you?
like me, I'm on Facebook. I don't, like I said, I really suck at Twitter and I really suck at Instagram, but I treat Facebook as if it's part of my heartbeat. You know what I mean? Like, because we haven't been able to do cons recently, you know, so I've done everything I can to reach fans and have fans be easy to reach by fans, you know. So if you guys message me, if you notice, my personal Facebook is open. You know, nothing's hidden on my personal Facebook. My, you know, the listener comics is open. You know, if you guys just like to look at dope art, swing by, check out some stuff. I post all kinds of stuff all the time. And that helps with algorithms. You know, just stopping by and checking it out helps with an algorithm. Yep. And, you know, I'm not great for emails because I get so many of them. Absolutely, Mike, for sure. But you know, I get so many emails because there's a lot of collaboration in this world, you know, and there's one thing that people don't understand when you start coming out as a business. I deleted your post. Oh.
Uh-oh.
If it was on the listener page, I'm sorry, I did probably delete it because of the fact that, and I was just getting to that right now. There are all kinds of people that take advantage of new creators, you know, and it's a daunting thing as a creator when you come out with an IP, right? It's very daunting because you're protecting your IP and whatnot, but at the same time, you have all kinds of people that are going, hey, I'll help you, or hey, I'll post for you, or hey, I'll do this. 9 times out of 10, they don't want to help you. You know, they really don't. And when you just start getting into this, it's scary because you don't know who you can trust. You don't know who you can talk to. And on the listener itself, I do remove everybody's art that is not a part of the team or part of our advertising group or anything like that, because that particular page is secular for the listener. If you want me to talk to you guys about advertising your stuff, shoot me a message, you know, because like I said, I've got 2 shows, you know, I've got 2 every Friday night. If you guys want to get down, I'll show your art. I've got no problem with that. It's just that particular page is we try to keep real clean so that people can come in and see, you know, what we're putting out, what we're doing. And I love it. You know, I love being able to work with you guys. And like I said, I'll bring you on the shows to shoot the shit, you know, but that particular area we try to keep so clean because of the people that come in. There's a lot of people that don't want to be my friend personally, but they like my book, you know. Right. So they come in and they're like, hey, this is dope. I love this story. I want to get behind it. So we try to keep that so they can jump in and see those things, you know, they can see the artists. And we also promote our other artists, like our other team members. Or, you know, one thing that we do on that page as well is if we have a job coming up opening, you know, we post about the job opening on there. So that's why we try to keep it, you know, as clean and tight as we can, because you guys have hit the nail on the head that people like to see what they want to see when they come in. You know, there's certain things they look for. So if I have a bunch of people that aren't working on our team blast on that page, you know what I mean? It's daunting to the people that want to see what they've come to see. And I leave that open. I could cut that off, you know, so people couldn't post, but I leave it open for job things and for, you know, if people are interested in doing a show, I leave it open so you can reach out, you know, hey, look, we'd like to do a show. We'd like to be part of, you know, the next cover set you guys have got coming out. We want to throw our name in the hat. And I think that's a great way for indie creators to reach out to one another. It's not to, you know, to slight anyone. It's just to keep it clean. But
I hate to interrupt you, Dustin.
Absolutely.
We got to get out the door. We're about to run out of time on our 2-hour thing. Did everyone get to say goodbye?
Yeah, man. Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Let's see. Tell people where they can find him.
Oh, you can find me the same places: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Of course, Wednesday Night Wham on Silverline. Fridays at Weekended, and I think now Monday. Geek Speak. So
Comic
check
Talk.
me out over there. Check me and Meredith out. Usually, if you can find me, you find Meredith. So
there you go. Right on.
All right, guys, that's it. We're out of here. Check out the awards today at 6 p.m. I'll see you then. And now for Jazz Hands video on the way out.